That was Kevin Hatchard speaking. Let's speak to Scottish football correspondent David Tanner joins us now. Right, Dave?
Jimmy, how you doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Look, obviously big news up in Scotland. How are you feeling about it? Are you excited or is it just a bit like, not sure, foreign head coach?
Well, it's the darkest of dark horses for me. There's no doubt about it. This is a real shock. The SFA, I think, in this particular managerial hunt are damned if they do and damned if they don't, because there are very few great Scottish candidates out there. I think what it does say is that the Scottish FA's coaching training badges are not working at the moment because there was no obvious Scottish replacement there.
Yeah.
It's not so very long ago, just under 15 years ago, that there were 7 Scottish managers in the Premier League. Now there are 7 Scottish managers in the SPFL Premiership. So there was a lack of options. But for me, it's a real bolt from the blue, this one. It's very much from left field. His managerial career really starts in 2024. Now, that's, by my reckoning, 2 years ago. And does that give you the qualifications to be an international manager? I'm not so sure, you know.
No.
What do you think? How are the fans going to be taking this news? Because it's not. Listen, you've had a wealth of great Scottish managers.
I thought Steve Clarke done a really good job.
Yeah, he did. But how are the fans going to take an outsider coming in to try and do a job where you've had an array of great Scottish managers in your time?
Well, I think the experience of Bertie Vogts, the previous Scotland manager, and I watched Bertie Vogts every step of the way from very close range when I was the Sky Sports Scotland correspondent and presenter. I tell you what, he had a terrible time. He didn't know the players. He came in and didn't understand the Scottish culture. He had Tommy Burns, the late great Tommy Burns, as his assistant. And Tommy, I know, found it a frustrating period in his career working with Bertie, famously mixing up players and the positions they played in and so on. This guy has only got 6 weeks before the first game against Slovenia in Ljubljana. So he'll need to announce a squad, or pick a squad in 4 weeks' time. So he'll have to rely heavily on his assistants. It might be Stephen Naismith stays on in that one. We'll wait and see. I hope it is Scottish assistants and he doesn't bring his cronies in because, you know, one will be with the blind leading the blind in that sense. So let's hope it's a Scottish assistant. Listen, I wish him well. But on the back of the Bertie Vogts experience of someone who didn't get it, I would certainly be worried about that.
He's only 39. He's only 39 years old.
That makes him younger than Craig Gordon, who was in the World Cup squad. So that puts that in perspective, doesn't it? But listen, there are some young Scottish players. Craig Gordon has retired, by the way. There are some young Scottish players coming through that you can look at to freshen the squad. There are 3 Scots in Serie A. Josh Doyle, who's a left back at Sassuolo. Kieran Bowie, who plays up front for Verona. And Lennon Miller, who's only 19, playing at Udinese, former Motherwell captain. So there are some new options that were available to Steve Clarke that he can look at. And Steve Clarke did have some younger players in the team. And of course, along with the experience of Andy Robertson, who did well for Tottenham today, I was pleased to hear. So, you know, it's not all doom and gloom in terms of players, but this is a big gamble with the Scottish FA. There's no doubt about it. And I hope it's a gamble they win, to be clear.
Yeah. David, I've got to ask you, while I've got you, started the SPL up there, hasn't been good for Rangers. Is it going to be a Celtic stroll in the park?
I think it's looking like it. You never judge a season in the first couple of weeks, but Celtic have just won 4-0 in the Scottish League Cup up at Dundee United, where they failed to win last season in the league. Celtic won the league last year at the end of a season of chaos and carnage. Brendan Rodgers was at war with the board. The board was at war with the fans. Martin O'Neill came in, steadied the buffs for a little while. Then they had the Captain Chaos coming in the shape of Nancy, who lasted 7 weeks. Yeah. And then Martin O'Neill came in and, you know, oversaw a really difficult period where the fans were at war with the club. And then suddenly in the last 6 weeks, Diaz and Maida now at Ipswich turned it on and Celtic won the league and cup double in a season of utter carnage. So after that, you cannot in any way, shape or form bet against Celtic. And Rangers have clearly got their troubles to seek. They haven't signed enough quality yet. But listen, we'll wait and see what happens at the end of the transfer window. But at the moment, it's very much Martin O'Neill and it's good to see that he's getting better after last week's operation.
Yeah.
Martin O'Neill looks very much odds on to sweep the board this year in Scotland. It's about Europe for them, for me.
Yeah.
Can they get into the Champions League and do well there?
Yeah. All right, David, you're a star, mate. I appreciate you coming on.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, guys.
All right, David Tanner there. Big news for Scotland. Got a new gaffer. Enzo Maresca's first game in charge of City. And he was asked whether he can continue the incredible success Pep Guardiola brought.
It's important that we continue to grow, we continue to improve. I think the pre-season has been good because game after game the team has improved. Now the pre-season is finished. Now we need to compete, we need to win games, we need to win title. What I want to see is the right spirit to continue to improve, and again the right mentality to win games and title.
Yeah, Arsenal v Manchester City, live on talkSPORT tomorrow, 3:00 kickoff. Big game for both teams. It is the kind of the curtain raiser of the Premier League, isn't it? Like, you get ready for this one.
Yeah.
See them two go at it. How do you think Enzo Maresca is going to do, City?
I think he'll do all right. I think
Good players, mate.
He's got good players. He's he knows the club already.
Yeah.
That's one thing. He knows probably the backroom staff and all that. That always helps. And he's going to want to put his own stamp on that team. But I think he's smart enough that you can't do it too early.
Mm-hmm.
It's a process.
Mm-hmm.
Get the boys playing for you, let them get the buy-in, and then you can start slowly changing and tweaking things the way you want it to be. But just use the model that's already there. You don't have to do too much. I think Doku's just signed a new contract, so you got good players there that's willing to stay. You need to sort out the Rodri situation as well.
Yeah.
Once that's done, and I think he's raring to go. And I think, look, for me, I think he's a good manager, mate, and I just think it's a smart signing from Manchester City's board.
Yeah, obviously, like it's gonna whoever you bring in, it's a come down a little bit from Pep,
of
right?
Course.
But it feels like they've done, as you said, a smart one. Chelsea fans not really having, but I feel like there was a bit of a basket case, really. But they've sorted themselves out as well, right?
Yeah.
Because they've got Alonso. But do you think Arsenal obviously are the strong favourites for the Premier League title?
Yeah.
People have been saying Chelsea are gonna, they're gonna be back amongst it. I still think it's between Arsenal and Man City.
Yeah, of course. That's all. There's always going to be the favourites, Jamie. Come on. Arsenal strong in every department, got squad depth as well. Chelsea, they've got a bit of free reign to express themselves. They've got players that can.
They've got a decent squad.
Can make differences, and then
starting lineup today against Sociedad.
And they're not in Europe. They're not in Europe. That's massive.
Yeah.
That's a one less game a week for them. So it's Alonso's a proper manager, mate. So I think he would weigh up this season, and if he looks at it structurally, I think he looks at it and thinks, well, let's break this into quarters. They're gonna have these type of games, and they're gonna be tired. That's where we can gain points. That's where we can gain momentum.
Yeah.
And remember, you got Cole Palmer coming back. They've had a rest this season.
Yeah.
They've had a massive rest. Some of the boys that haven't gone to the World Cup have had a rest because they didn't perform well. Some of them missed out of the World Cup of their international team. So they're well rested, Chelsea. They can go on to go and do big things this season. So yes, it is going to be out of Manchester City and Arsenal, but don't count Chelsea out.
No, I've just think Arsenal, Man City tomorrow. I'm interested because Arsenal have been a bit sticky in pre-season. I know it's pre-season, but I've been speaking to a couple of Arsenal fans now, and people follow the club saying it might be be more difficult than people are making.
Well, the Arsenal game, who's it more important for? This Arsenal Man City game in Cardiff. Who's it more important? I'd say it's more important for Man City. Arsenal got players that ain't even had kicked one game of one ball in pre-season.
Yeah.
Got obviously Saka's come back.
Yeah, Rice. Yeah.
Rice has come back. So Spanish lads have come back. But Bruno, one thing they've signed a good player in Bruno Guimaraes, and he's shown how good he is already in some of his pre-season games. And this game coming up, I think you'll get a Bruno performance that he's going to just try and stamp his authority in the game and show that he's arrived. So it's not going to be an easy game at all.
I like this one because they both just go for it.
Yeah, they're going to go for it, see what happens. Just go and try and win it. And if you lose it, you say it's only a friendly. It don't matter.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I'd like to see it open up.
All right, that game tomorrow, Arsenal v Manchester City Community Shield, is live on talkSPORT. Sam Matterface and England captain Stuart Pearce are going to be looking after that one, presented by Natalie Sawyer. That's it from us. We are done. I'm back on the Sports Bar, 10 p.m. on Monday, alongside my mate Cundy.